So if we know we're gonna have one pit stop, but we get a long green flag run where you're gonna have to fill that up, you might as well take the tires anyway.
Yeah.
If you're coming in under under green and you know you might either take 2 tires or you might just take fuel only.
Yeah.
It really depends, I think, on the current flagging situation, whether you're under a long green flag run or whether you got a lot of cautions. You have a lot of cautions, I wouldn't take tires. But if you got long green flag runs where where you're actually using your rubber up, you might as well get them while you're filling that tank up.
Yep. So for those of you just joining us on Facebook, we certainly appreciate you, and on YouTube, we certainly appreciate you coming on board with us. It looks like we are now live. There was a little bit of a delay. We watched some of the qualifying. We certainly appreciate everybody joining us as we are fixing to go live here. We're going to go down to your Matt Schlosser, who is going to be your pole sitter for this race tonight. Again, welcome, welcome on board with us. This is the first race of season 6 for the Racers Elite Truck season that is going to be here every single week. We talked a little bit about the schedule. We'll cover that again throughout the rest of tonight. And we talked a little bit about some of these drivers and the drivers coming back that we feel like are going to be some certain threats. And we can't say anything like that without certainly talking about our winner from last season, and that's going to be Blair Holloman. Again, I think we talked about it a little bit earlier with 7 wins on the season, leading 48% of all of the laps that we had here in the Truck Series last year. So he is certainly, if you were going to pinpoint somebody that we want to watch out for, that is going to be the person right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he didn't lay a qualifying lap. He started in P18, but he could be one of these guys that's just gonna to go to the back, ride it out, and try to be there at the end.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I'm super excited about Talladega. I do think, as a driver, it's one of those more nerve-wracking tracks, if you will, because you know that anything could happen at any point. But it's also one of the more enjoyable tracks if you can get a small breakaway and you can push somebody to the lead. I don't think you're going to have some of the similar overheating issues that you have in some of the next gen cars and some of the other leagues. So I do believe that you're going to be able to push, but that third driver, that third truck driver behind them is going to be what is so important for these drivers as we go along throughout the night, and being able to find, who's going to be pushing who as we go through. So real quick, we want to see if we can show, and we're going to just pull off our timing tower so that we can do this. Again, Matt Schlosser is going to be your pole sitter with a 55.309. Kinsley Smith in second. Brandon Sanfilippo in third. Andrew Teft is going to be in fourth. Rowan Lloyd in fifth. Jesse Fox sixth. Troy Thomas starting in seventh. Truth Hove in eighth. Philip Archibald in ninth. And Brandon Honeycutt in 10th. 11th is going to be Lee Campbell. Kirby Wainscott is going to be in the 12th spot. And then we're going to have Rick Webb 13th. Hugh Escobar is going to be 14th on the grid. 15th is going to be Ryan Coker. Sean Dunaway in 16th. 17th, Zach Lockett. We talked about him just a little bit earlier. Look for him and Matt to try to hook up throughout this race. Blair Holloman, your previous champion, or your reigning champion, if you will, in the Truck Series, going to start 18th. 19th, Alex Teft, Tim Wright in 20th. 21st, Rob Yost Jr. He is another person that has ran with Racers Elite for a very long time. Michael Bennett Magnum is going to be in 22nd. 23rd, Paul Shaw. Matt Metler is going to be 24th. Dennis Kane, 25th. Charles is going to be in 26th. Then rounding out your field is going to be Curtis Ecker. So here we go. The start of season 6. Talladega. Strap in, 75 laps. Let's see if we can pull up the tower. As you are going to see here, Russ, again, thank you for joining us. I am John Ross, your broadcaster. Russ Martin is with me in the booth. Russ, are you ready for the start of Season 6 in the Tuesday Night Truck Series with Racers Elite?
And I'm telling you what, these truck drivers are ready to roll, and we are getting ready to drop the hammer here at Talladega. I'm super excited. We're about ready to see some chaos, guys. Let's go.
I'll tell you, I think one of the greatest things, Russ, that you can tell is obviously you want a good finish. You want to start the season out right. You're looking at a plate track. You've already done your practicing. The practice is over. It is time to race and put your right foot down. You can see we are fixing to drop this green flag as Matt Schlosser is going to take us to the green flag. And here we go, folks.
We already have just a little bit of trouble on the back there. A couple guys either missing shifts or getting loose on that start there. We're at 3 wide towards the back of the field here already.
That is one of those things that I thought about going through this will be, one, we have to make sure that we get through the field, and we're going to talk about each one of these drivers, but two, how soon are we going to see some drivers go 3 wide? And as you can see, a big shove by that 98 of Teft on the 15 car or a truck, and that's Kinsley Smith trying to push him out front just a little bit. Now, on these trucks, do you want to try to tuck up just bumper to bumper and see if you can push them forward, or are you more of a big hit, let them get out in front of you and just keep kind of hitting them as you go down the straightaway?
Really, I think the best way is to lock on and push. I mean, you can give them that bump, but they get too far away from you, you lose that grab, it's going to pull the other line right back in if they're tucked up too good.
Yeah, that sounds just about right. As you can see, really Matt still holding that inside line. They're going to get just a little tight. Sanfilippo and Andrew Teff going to get just a little tight going there, and that air will play with you. You're going to see that all the way throughout the night. You'll see these trucks move up and down, and really no harm, no foul as you rub some doors. That's going to happen. It really, the big ones are going to be when you start playing around with the rear quarter panels of these trucks.
Yeah, we're coming through 3 and 4 here, and we're still 2 by 2 the whole way back through here. See that outside line maybe gaining a little bit of momentum. The bottom line is quickly sucking back up down in there.
Yeah, you can tell, especially on that outside line, they are just a little bit more linked up. And one of those things that I think that you want to be really cognizant of and keep your eye on is that 15 truck and that 13. Again, they are teammates. They have ran these plate races pretty consistently, and they have been extremely successful doing it. I do believe Kinsley Smith picked up the next-gen win as the last race of the season last year. So look for him to be extremely strong. Look for that 13 truck to meet up with him at some point as we go on throughout the night. And they're certainly going to be trying to match their fuel strategies together.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming around here again. We are still 2 by 2 through the length of this field. These guys do not want to give up an inch right now.
No, and we're going to talk just a little bit about some of these drivers. We're going to see if we can focus on, you'll see that 61 driver, Rowan Lloyd, down at the bottom. He is 3rd in line. You can see how he just tucks right underneath of Sanfilippo to give him that push that he's going to need to stay on the back of Matt and keep that inside line moving. You know, through the center of the turn, that inside line is going to be a lot faster, but that outside line is going to carry a lot of speed on exit and down that back straightaway.
Yeah, and the outside line can affect the inside line too with the side draft. I mean, they come down these straightaways, stuck down there right on that truck on the bottom line. It's going to slow that bottom line up a little bit. It's going to let that outside line kind of gain their momentum back again. You see that time and time again with these restrictor plate races. With these restrictor plate races, the side draft is so prominent in these things too.
Yeah, you can see that as you can tell that Kinsley Smith, that top line really starting to move just a little bit as Andrew's going to stay hooked onto his back bumper. They're going to drop down to this inside line, and they're going to leave that 69 truck of Jesse Fox out to dry on this outside line. They're going to give him the momentum that he's going to need to start pulling up just a little bit. But we're going to go on back through this field just and start talking about some of these drivers. Brandon Sanfilippo, I believe we talked about him in the pre-race broadcast. He has ran here before. It looked like he ran, I don't believe he was here in the Truck Series last year, but good to have him back. Really fast guy, really good on some slick tracks, short tracks. I think you're going to see him be able to find his way to the front throughout some of these races. Hugh Escobar in that 72 Cowboys. Look at this, Russ. Really nice paint scheme on this truck.
Yeah, that's really nice. One thing I was going to say really quick too is it looks like this field's about ready to come up on a lap truck already. Not sure what happened there, if he started from the pits or if he had some kind of a penalty to start this race, but this field's going to catch that single driver here really quick.
Yeah, it does not take long to be able to catch those drivers. that do not have any drafting support, and this is always one of those extremely scary moments. And a lot of the times your leader will call out ahead and let that driver know, hey, if you'll stay up top, which it looks like that's what's going to happen. That's going to be your 44 truck of Ryan Coker. He is already 1 lap down. That's going to put him 2 laps down. So you are right. He quite possibly could have started from the pits or had a late start.
Something definitely not right there.
Yeah, so we're going to continue to go through this field, and we're going to talk about now, see if we can get zoomed back in on Alex Teft. Alex is going to be running the 43 machine as he normally does. He is in the really odd to see a Home Depot paint scheme on a 43 numbered race car, but here he is. Alex has his tracks too that he really enjoys. He's really fast at, and you're going to see that he will have some fantastic runs throughout this season. Really good at saving fuel, saving tires, and he's going to be fast. One of the other things that I like about Alex is he's a really intelligent driver. He's always thinking about what he could do from a pit stop standpoint to get a small little advantage. And that really pays well for those drivers. Matt, we talked about earlier, he led quite a bit of this race, and really glad to see him back. Hugh, we talked about his truck. We talked about Brandon as these drivers are starting to fall back just a little bit as that outside line is moving. Tim Wright up 8 positions so far. Let's see if we can get some information on Mr. Tim. Yeah, Tim in that 82 truck. Looks like he is, Russ, a 2000 IR driver. He is up 10 spots so far in this race. So certainly one of those drivers that does not want to sit back and wait. He is on the move.
Yeah, there's a lot of them drivers that are like that. They just they want to get to the front as soon as they can, and they're going to try to find their way there however they can.
That is true.
It's just like Darrell Waltrip said. He always said, when it comes to these restrictor plate races, you gotta find your frenemies.
That's a good point. Number 4 truck of Dennis Kane. Dennis, another one that has been here since the very beginning. Fantastic driver, really clean driver. What I like about Dennis is he certainly knows his limitations in the truck, in the cars, and he will drive right to those limitations, but he never seems to drive over it. Really difficult driver to pass as well. If he does not want you to go around, I can tell you that he is going to fight you tooth and nail, and that makes for a lot of fun racing. Curtis in this Grinch truck, Curtis with a ton of speed, really just never had luck fall his way last season in some of these other series, but really fantastic driver, has a lot of speed, really wants it. You can tell in his voice that he wants to win, so we hope to find him doing pretty well this season. Philip Archibald, this 99 truck, very nice looking 99 Noble Wisdom machine. It's been a long time, Ross, since I've seen a Wisdom vehicle. You see the 93 car is going to get loose. Oh, yellow flag is out.
They made it 10. They made it 10 laps, John.
We made it 10 laps. That is Zach Lockett, and we do not have a wreck on the stream here, so we are going to have to go back and find out what was going on. Oh, as you look like this.
From what I
go ahead.
I would say, just from what I was seeing there, looked like maybe a little bit of net code.
Yeah, we are going to we're going to back that right back up because it does look like you could be accurate here. It looks like that 16 truck. We might have just a little.
If there was, it was just a very little amount.
16 truck looks like he's going to try to go 3 wide. And he is certainly, it does. It looks like he's going to try to go 3 wide. The 54 truck is going to try to close that gap up. And that is going to, looks like it's going to get in that left corner. And Zach is almost going to go for a ride and flipping that truck over. It stays on all fours, Russ. And probably just a little bit of damage on that left rear quarter. And he's in good shape.
Yeah. Come in and fix that quarter and grab a new fire suit, and you're ready to go. Because I guarantee you that that made Zach a little nervous right there.
Oh, there is no doubt about that, my friend. There is no doubt about that. As we are going to see if we can get ourselves back live, as Brandon Honeycutt's going to be your leader. Now, this is going to be the big question. Do you start to come in and get some fuel now? or are you going to wait?
Yeah, I mean, there could be a lot of strategy call here. I mean, we're ten laps in under green here. Not sure what the fuel load will get you, but you might come in and top it off. No, I wouldn't take tires at this point. We're only 10 laps in. Maybe just come in, top the fuel off, and get back out there.
I believe you are right, and you're probably going to see some of these drivers not take fuel at all, or I'm sorry, not take tires at all for this entire race, especially if they want to really fight for track positions. You can see this entire line of vehicles are going to come down. These trucks are going to come to get service. That is going to help your 44 truck, as he is most likely going to be the lucky dog and get one of these laps back.
Yeah, anytime you can get one of your laps back, give you another shot at it. You get another caution, get himself back on that lead lap, you could be right back in contention.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does look like just a little bit. And as you can see, it looks like it's going to be fuel only for quite a few of these drivers. As Honeycutt's going to come back out, your leader, 69 machine of Jesse Fox, is going to be second. Kidsley Smith is going to be in third. Now, what that tells you, Russ, is that you're going to have that 13 truck and that 15 truck lined up nose to tail on this restart. So they have already found their way to each other, and we're going to see how this is going to go once they get hooked up.
Yeah, absolutely. They're known to work together. They're really good friends, good teammates, I believe. So they can keep themselves together. I wouldn't be surprised to see them out front for quite a while.
I completely agree with you. And wow, so 10 laps in. Again, we want to run down for those of you that are joining us on YouTube just a little bit late while we have this opportunity. I want to cover what we have in a schedule so far for this Tuesday Night Truck Series with Racers Elite. And again, here we are at Talladega. Next week, we're going to be at Auto Club. Then we're going to Charlotte. Two really good tracks for the trucks. See a lot of drafting there as well, but tire wear is going to come into play, as well as the 28th of January at Chicagoland. Then you're going to go to a tricky Darlington track. And then, like we talked about in the pre-race, we are Lime Rock Park bound on the February the 11th. I believe that is the one that you've got to circle and say, man, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a total new experience for these drivers. I mean, Lime Rock Park being a new track to the real life Truck Series schedule, and it could potentially be one of the more exciting races this season too.
Yeah, I completely agree. IRP, that is not just Indy. That is going to be the IRP short track, Raceway Park, and that's going to be at sunset going in tonight. That's going to be a great race. Richmond, and that is going to be the end of your regular season. We are going to go into, I'm sorry, we will have one more race. It's actually colored in a dark brown, which is very fitting, Russ, because that's going to be Eldora Raceway. And we are going to take these trucks onto the dirt at Eldora on the 4th of March.
Yeah, these trucks on dirt are always fun. I know, the last couple of years it's been Knoxville. Um, the guys have done the Truck Series races in their leagues and stuff because that was I believe Knoxville was the last time that the trucks ran on dirt in real life. I'm not sure if they're still running on dirt every year or not, but I know lately it's been Knoxville, but I'm happy to see it go back to Eldora. I've always thought Eldora was meant for NASCAR.
The truck races have always been a blast there. A lot of the leagues have run those Eldora track in the trucks, and it has been a lot of fun. As long as the set's good, you get to throw the truck around. They're not extremely loose. You get to have a lot of fun with it. It gives, everybody knows that when you run these leagues, you potentially have to go to a road course. You know you're going to have mile and a half. You know you're going to have plate tracks. So having that dirt race right before the playoffs are going to be fantastic. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention those playoff races, and we will have four, and that's going to be Texas. We're going to the Rock, Michigan, and then we're going to end it at Atlanta as your season finale. So fantastic schedule for these drivers to really show what they're made of, as you have a whole array of different tracks and different opportunities for drivers to come to the front.
That's one thing I kind of like about Races Elite. One thing I've noticed is their schedules are a little bit different than what you would normally find in a league. A lot of truck Xfinity Cup Series leagues, they usually run the same types of tracks or the same tracks every season. Races Elite, they run a totally different schedule, and that's kind of unique and interesting.
Yep. As you can see, you saw that pace truck is going to drop off just a little bit. We're a little premature up here on the flag stand, but he is going to hold that green flag high up in the sky as it looks like Honeycutt is going to take us once again to a green flag. As you can see, that flag is going to wave in the air. And here these drivers go.
Hensley right up to his back bumper already. He's already there to put it.
The big part is going to be that 12 truck right behind the 15. And if he can kind of sneak right underneath of that rear bumper of the 15 and give him the pressure and the pushing power that he's going to need to keep Brandon Honeycutt out in front. And I do believe that you're going to see that. But don't shake a stick at Truth Hoke up here on that top right-hand side as he is working over the rear bumper of that 69 truck early. And you've got the 72 with the Cowboys paint on. Super close, but you can see that gap right back to there. That's really what's hurting that 69 and 55 truck as the 72 is just a little bit off of that rear bumper. San Filippo being that third truck, doing a fantastic job here.
Yep, they just keeping it locked in here. Try to sneak up there. Can't quite get to that back bumper of the 15 before the corner, but they can just stay locked in. I think they're going to hold that bottom off pretty well.
I agree, and I'm going to go. Let's just go on board here. I want to take a look at Kinsley, and I want to give everybody here. I want you to know how difficult this is because what's happening is you can see that Kinsley Smith is really trying to line up the center bar on that windscreen with the center black mark on that spoiler with Brandon Honeycutt. But Brandon has to be in that chat and talking to Kinsley because the only way he can do that and see what's going on is to rely on the eyes and ears of Brandon Honeycutt. So Brandon's sitting there talking to him about where he's at on the track. Because, folks, as you can see, Kinsley Smith has no idea where he's going.
No idea at all. You're completely blind being that second truck in line.
Yeah, you have to rely on that driver in front of you. You can always use that truck on the right-hand side as a gauge, and you can see the yellow line, but you don't know how close you are to that yellow line. So you can see Kinsley coming off of that turn with a nice run. It's going to put the bumper to Honeycutt, but you can also tell, Russ, he's not really laying hard on that bumper just yet. It's a little bit early for him. He's not looking to really push too hard on the bumper.
Oh, I think they're trying to gauge their feel at this point, trying to see what works, what isn't going to work for getting a run later on in this race. I mean, that outside line is sticking right with them, but every time they come out of the corner, Kinsley puts that bumper to them, and they can break out just a little bit from that outside line. So they know that that's going to work come towards the end of this. What else can we do now to get out forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's continue to go back through this field and let's take a look at some of these drivers that are wanting to kind of hang out here in the back. As you can see, that 44 truck now looks like he very well could be on the lead lap. He might have taken a wave around there too. I can't believe he would have made up 2 laps. I do believe he is on the tail end 1 lap down. Rob Yost is in 26th position. Again, he's probably just sitting back, trying to avoid any of these wrecks that could happen. And just trying to stay in line. Rick Webb in that 54 truck, he was one of those that was involved in that earlier accident on lap 10. So you can see, again, he probably took a fast repair and or he has said, listen, I don't want to be any part of this. I'm just going to sit back. As it does look like, Russ, we're going to start working a third line out here with Andrew Teft in that 98 truck and Matt Schlosser wanting to get back to the front.
Yeah, they are trying. That is for sure. Trying to get a third line running and see if they can make something happen here early on.
Yeah, we're going to pull up this battle box a little bit here because down here at the bottom right-hand corner, folks, you can see really how close these drivers are. Andrew Teft looking, and it looks like that 72 machine is going to pull up in front of Andrew as he sees this third line really starting to make a move. Andrew's going to drop down.
Oh, he drops down to the middle.
That really tells both of these drivers something. It tells that 72 that Andrew's really not interested at this point in working with him, and that also tells Andrew when that 72 slid up in front of him that he's not willing to work with him either. So I think both of them got a good dose of what's going on here as it looks like Andrew's going to come down in the center and help push that 69 and 55 trucks. The 69 is going to take the lead on the outsides. We look like we had a little bit of tire smoke or smoke.
checking up in the middle lane.
I believe we have a blown engine on that 55 truck.
Could very well be. He is way off pace, and he checked that middle line way up.
It looks like Truth Hope might have blown his engine, folks. We're going to go and we're going to follow him. Let's get on board. Let's see if I can get on board with Truth quickly. I want to hear this engine, as it looks like he has overheated that truck.
I think that's exactly what happened.
He is still under power.
Maybe he's just down a cylinder or two, but he is definitely way off pace. He's got smoke coming out of the back of that truck.
Wow.
Definitely not a good situation for Truth at this point.
That is not. As you can see, the smoke still billowing out of the right-hand exhaust pipe of this truck. That is probably going to require a fast repair, as Truth, staying tucked underneath of that truck, looks like he has burned an engine up, and he's going to get back in, get a fast repair, and be back out.
Back to 2x2 up front here for about the first 5 or 6 rows. They decided that 3 wide this early may not have been.
Yes, they did. We did have some drivers really use that to their advantage to get themselves back up. As you can see, Andrew Teff is going to stay up on that high line and almost get just kind of steamroll back, as he's going to fall back down, leave that 61 on the outside by himself. As now it looks like Andrew, with another run, has decided he is not done. And now we've got...
He's going to need a lot of help coming from behind, though.
We do have some help coming. Curtis Ecker has moved up. His teammate in that Chicken Coop Racing 19 Grinch machine has come up in front of Andrew Teff to help him and help this line get up to the front. As again, you can see that middle line.
Boy, they squeezed really tight right there.
That 72 truck is really moving around and getting himself way up there to the top as he does it again. And almost gets in that left rear quarter panel of Andrew Teff. That is going to slow both of those lines down. As you can see, Truth Hope now about to be a lap down, coming out with hopefully a brand new engine. I think he's going to try to tag onto the back of this this horde of cars and try to be that first driver 1 lap down to get a lucky dog. As you can see that Andrew Teff again is going to drop down just a little bit and get behind. As you can see, Truth Hope now getting past and getting put a lap down.
And they're single file up front now for the first 4 spots. That middle lane is still trying to come. He's got that bumper packed right to him there. Looks like Kensley and Brandon Honeycutt are pulling just a little bit of a gap from San Filippo, and that's allowed that middle lane to get caught right back up with them again.
Yes, it has. All right, these drivers, it looks like Curtis Ecker is not done. He is getting runs. Him and Andrew Teff working really well together, continually getting runs and trying to get to that outside and make that third line work. And you can do that here at Talladega because you have that ability, and this track is wide enough. Daytona, it's a little bit sketchier, but here at Talladega, these drivers can really turn it loose. And they can run it. I have seen some of these truck races that could and quite possibly will tonight go 4 wide when it starts to get down to the end of this race.
Yeah, especially down the straightaways, you could definitely get them 4 or even 5 wide. I don't want to put any ideas into any of these drivers' heads about going 5 wide, but it's definitely possible.
I will tell you, there's always that old saying in these plate races, there's 2 ways that you want to go, either a spectacular win or a spectacular wreck. It wouldn't be above any of these drivers to take that thing 5 wide to try to get this race won.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, we're closing in on a third of the way through this race already, and for me, it would still be a little early yet, but a lot of guys are, I'm going to do it now or ever.
Yeah, here's we're going to keep working our way back here. We're going to keep that battle box down here at the bottom right-hand corner because I just want you to see all of the drivers that are around some of these that we focus on. So Rick Webb, again, in that 54 truck, just kind of hanging out in the back, staying in the draft, making sure he doesn't lose it. You can see the same thing from Kirby Wainscott. Kirby, another one of those drivers that runs pretty much every league that we have here at Racers Elite. and does a fantastic job. Really, Kirby, one of the faster drivers on these mile-and-a-half tracks, can show a lot of speed there. Sean Dunaway is going to be back here, and we haven't talked about him quite yet. He is down 7 positions from his starting spot, and he is in that 01 Pizza Hut truck. As you can see them kind of starting to snake around down there at the bottom. Charles Mazzell in the 33 Rowdy machine. Good looking truck there, Russ.
Yeah, that's a pretty sharp looking ride right there.
Blair Holloman, you're a 7-time winner last season. Again, in that 32 machine, that KOA camping yellow truck. Again, just kind of hanging out, trying to stay out of trouble, bide his time. As you can see, these 3 wide drivers. Let's go back up front. As you can see that 72 truck, again, just super close, and that's going to get him turned.
Sideways.
Oh, and he's going to be in the wall. That's going to take Curtis Ecker out.
Yeah, they're gonna wreck him. They're gonna stack him up there.
Oh my goodness gracious, that is going to be. Let me see if I can grab a hold of some of these drivers that have gotten in the middle of that. And we are going to back this up. Oh my goodness. And that was just kind of waiting to happen on that 72 as he gets super close. And we're going to back it up just a little bit further. Russ,
Yeah,
because I
was watching those 3 lines for about like the last 2 or 3 laps, and they've kind of been dancing around a little bit. So it was pretty inevitable that something was going to happen here at some point.
And there you go. Yeah, he was just extremely close. And then as he checks up, as he gotten into that 61, he's going to come up and get the wall. That leaves nowhere for Curtis Ecker to go, and he is going to come down, and he is going to take out Andrew Teft, his teammate in that 98 truck. The 3 truck is going to go down. Dennis Kane involved. And looks like everybody else is going to do a great job of avoiding. Again, we do have a fast repair. 3 truck, the 16 truck are going to come up. Oh, and they're going to get the 16 is going to get the 01. As sometimes you are just along for the ride on these things. My goodness.
That was a hard hit.
That was a hard hit. Second caution of the night. You can see Curtis Ecker with that left front fender just flopping around on that truck. As now he's going to lose it. It's going to hit the track. We'll have to get some people to come out and pick up that fender for him. Brandon Honeycutt was your leader, has been leading since that very first caution flag. So he led all of those laps from lap 10 on.
Looks like they're all going to come down pit road again. Top that fuel off.
Yes, they are. Let's see if we're going to have any of these drivers choose to take some tires. And folks, as you can see, unfortunately, that subtitle, I'm not certain what's happening to our timing tower here, where you can see where it has a time to go instead of the laps. I do apologize about that. Not certain why it is doing that, but Russ is going to call out our laps to go as we go along throughout this race to keep you informed. All right. Russ, I believe we found it, my friend. We have reset it, and it's come back. So lap 28 of 75.
That is right. Yeah, we're currently on lap 28 of 75. There it is. Yep.
All right, again, you are going to set this back up where Sanfilippo out of the pits early is going to, looks like the 44 machine is going to take a wave around once again. That should put him right back on the lead lap. If he does that, I believe Truth Hoke is going to get your lucky dog. And we're going to have both of those drivers back on the lead lap. So what Truth Hoke thought might have been a night-ending blown engine, he is able to come back out on this track. I believe he will get your lucky dog winner, and he get his lap back, and he's right back in business. So look for that 55 truck to start working his way back up front.
Yeah, looks like both those guys got their laps, but it looks like everybody is back on the lead lap now, Joe.
That is fantastic job by those drivers. Again, we have used some of those fast repairs, folks, so you can probably guess that we're going to have some drivers just kind of hanging out in the back trying to save that last fast repair because the fireworks are not over. We are not halfway in this race. It looks like the 44 machine going to come down pit road. Let's follow Ryan. Matt Schlosser coming down pit road as well. That is your pole sitter coming down pit road. I would assume he's going to try to top off a little bit, play a little bit of pit strategy.
Yeah, we got a couple more coming in.
Andrew Tefts still in the pits, did not take a fast repair. I think he was trying to get that repaired on its own. Still sitting down pit road. Oh, that's going to hurt Andrew Teft. I believe that's going to put him a lap down. As you can see, a lot of drivers coming down pit road to get topped off. So we've got a little bit of fuel strategy going on. As you can see, the lights are out on that pace truck.
Yeah, it makes me one of these guys that came back down if they're thinking about making it to the end of this race now. I mean, with Andrew Teft and Ryan coming back down, those two are now a lap down. So are they thinking make it to the end from here?
Ooh, that is a very interesting strategy. It is quite possible that that you are correct. They're going to try to make it to the end, but I will tell you, we are not done with these cautions. That third line, I believe that they have found something. These drivers have come out here and tested that early. That third line is a viable line in this track early and often, and you're going to see some of those drivers willing to push that envelope and get up there. Now, this is going to be an interesting restart as you have Honeycutt on the outside of San Filippo, and then Kinsley Smith is going to be in third. So those drivers are going to try to get themselves back together. Matt Metler, we haven't talked about him yet tonight, has found his way up here in fourth position. Rowan Lloyd is going to be in fifth. Tim Wright in sixth. Dennis Kane seventh. Lee Campbell is going to be in eighth. Jesse Fox ninth. And then Philip Archibald is going to round out your top 10 as we get ready to go back green.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how Honeycutt and Smith end up finding each other again. Are they just going to let San Filippo take off into the lead? Is Kinsley going to let Honeycutt down in front of him?
That is going to be very interesting. There's a couple of ways that you can go, and I don't think 28 laps in, 29 laps into a race of 75, that's something you have to worry about right now. But here we go. We are going to find out, Russ, as we are getting ready to go back green. Flag is in the air, and it is getting waved. San Filippo, that is the unfortunate inside jump as you're going to watch these plate trucks at this track. Oh, as it looks like Honeycutt's going to dive down and get back in front of Kinsley Smith. And here is where the strategy starts to come in. And if they're going to use this 12 truck as the sacrificial gas guzzler, that's going to be the one cutting the air. As you see a truck way off going down to the apron, trying to get out of this melee. Matt Metler on the right-hand top side, getting a good push by the 61 Rowan Lloyd. Dennis Kane, we talked about him a little bit earlier, Russ. Was he not involved in that first caution on lap 10? Right back up here, helping push this outside line.
Way right back up to the front there.
The comers and goers of the plate races.
That's the exciting part about these races is you never give up. You never give up because you can get right back into it really quick like that.
That's right. As you can tell from the blown engine of Truth Hoke, as you can see that Truth now is tagged on to the backside of this freight train of trucks that's coming down this backstretch. He is back on that lead lap. I believe he's just going to sit back because, again, although there was no damage on the body panels on that truck, that did take a fast repair to put a new engine in.
Yeah, he needs to just be a little bit more cautious for the rest of this. Get down to the end, then he can start really fighting his way back up there.
You can see, folks, where that top line is really giving a lot of room to that bottom line. When we start getting down further and further down into the laps to go, you're going to see that gap start to get tighter and tighter and tighter, because one of the things that you want to do when you're in these plate tracks is if you can get right on the door of another truck that has a good run on you, you will essentially suck them back and put the brakes onto that truck. So you're going to see these trucks start to bob and weave and snake up and down these straightaways, these front stretch and back stretch, as they start to use that draft to their advantage.
Slow car there, flat truck that they're coming up on. He's going to get up there in that third lane and try to let this field by him and hopefully tack onto the back side of it.
That is going to be Andrew Teft that went in the pits and got that damage. Now let's see what this looks like inside of his car as he is getting taken 3 wide. And you can just see, Russ, the speed difference of those drivers in the draft versus somebody without a draft.
Yeah, if you're not in the draft, you're all by yourself. They're gonna come and they're gonna go really, really quick. And even letting the field by you just to tack onto the back. If you don't tack onto the back of this field quickly, you're gonna lose them again. So it's really imperative to get down, get in line as soon as you can when these trucks get by you.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. We're going to hope that that truck does look like it's in great shape now, so we're going to hope that it has enough, as the 16 machine is going to come up behind him and try to help him get himself up to speed. And you can almost feel it. When you get into that draft, you can almost feel the truck pick up the speed and pick up the RPMs. And man, that is a great feeling because you know you're not going to be left behind.
Yeah, that is true. I've felt that many, many times.
Sanfilippo still out front leading this thing again. Everybody has a plan. They're just sitting back and riding right now. You do not see that third line coming in. You still do see the 16 truck up high on the outside in the very back of there. I believe he's just going to tuck down in line, but looks like Honeycutt giving Sanfilippo some really nice pushes there. But again, you can see Honeycutt really dip below. And let's see if we can't go on board because, again, I want to show you something else that Honeycutt is really noticing and what he's trying to do. And you can see, watch that left front fender really try to poke out, especially in the turns. And really what he's trying to do, you can kind of see it right there. He's trying to get a little air so that he can manage that temperature. See how he's just a little bit below Sanfilippo there? He's trying to get some fresh air to go through the grill of that truck and drop that temp. That way he can still push down the straightaways, and he does not have what happened to Truth happen to him, which is he's sitting in the pits with a blown engine.
I was just thinking that as you were describing all that. I'm like, yeah, he keeps dipping down there, get a little fresh air in there so he doesn't have a Truth open.
Matt Metler with a great drive, Russ, tonight as well, sticking on the outside. Looks like a lot of these drivers super stable under the wheel, doing a fantastic job, nose to tail. We've got some pushing going on. We're stuck in the draft. Man, this is what plate racing is all about.
Absolutely. Just got to stick with it and get yourself into a rhythm. There's one of the big things here, too. Get yourself into a comfortable spot, get into a rhythm, and just ride it out to the end. And then that's where you make your moves.
Absolutely. Now that they settle down just a little bit, let's go back a little bit further. We're going to zoom into some of these other drivers so that we can focus on them a little bit and give them a little bit of broadcasting time and talk about them. Rob Yost Jr., another stalwart here at Racers Elite. Fantastic tracker boats. 83, kind of a chrome crimson red colored truck. Like that design on it. Another fantastic driver. You'll see him in several paint schemes throughout the year and throughout this season, but great driver as well. Philip Archibald, don't know a whole lot about Philip. Hopefully we'll get to know him a whole lot throughout the rest of this year. It does have the Racers Elite banner on that Noble Winston 99 machine, and I believe we talked about it a little bit earlier before before a wreck happened, but it's been a while, Russ, since I've seen Winston on the side of a race car.
Yeah, that brings back a lot of memories from the old days of NASCAR, seeing the old Winston Noble paint scheme on a vehicle. That's really cool. It's really cool to see.
It really is. Blair Holloman, your champion, your reigning champion of this truck series in that KOA 32 truck. Still kind of just riding around in the back. Again, a lot of these drivers you're going to hear from late in the race you just have not heard from yet. 25 machine and Paul Shaw, really nice looking Toyota truck. Currently running in the 13th position. He is up 10 spots from his starting spot. Let's go back and take a look at Zach. Zach was caught up in that earlier wreck. Does it look like we had another car going around?
Yep.
All right, let's see if we can find out what happened. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be
Charles Mazel.
Yeah, let's go back and take a look at it. It doesn't look like our timing tower was able to catch where that accident came from, but we did. So we're going to come back here and take a look. As it looks like, again, here we are, 3 wide, folks.
Looks like he took a hard hit to that outside wall.
Yeah, it looks like we had just a little bit. Looks like that 44 truck just kind of driving down.
Yeah, just kind of squeezed him a little bit much.
Just
there.
A little bit. Let's go on board here, Russ, with that 44 machine. Take a look at really what he saw.
Ooh, that was a big hit by the 33.
We're going to go right on board and ride with him. Oh, you could just see the destruction happen for both of these trucks. It did look like the 44 truck come down off of the wall just a little bit, might have gotten that 3-wide call a little bit late. And you can see, folks, from that shaking screen, that means he has some tremendous wheel damage on that truck. All right, as we go back live.
Hopefully that 33 trucks has still got their fast repair. that was a hard hit. Other than that, it's going to be about 5 minutes of pit time.
Yeah, that was a tough hit, Russ. I do think that that he did have his fast repair left. I don't believe I saw him in an accident there, so hopefully he can get that back out. I also think the 44 has one too. So 39 laps in the books. We'll probably go back green about 41, 42. I do believe you're going to see all of these drivers. See if we can get kind of a blimp view of how this is going to happen down pit road. Now, all of that pit strategy is out the window now, isn't it? I mean, you're just going to fill this thing up, and you're like, I am good to the end, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I mean, we're closing in on 35 to go here. I really don't think, even at 65% fuel load, I don't think it's going to be less than 35 laps. So I would imagine that this could potentially be the last pit stop for fuel if we stay green. Whoa, a little bit of trouble coming off of pit road there.
Sanfilippo is going to lose the lead, cutting that truck sideways, trying to power out as it looks like Honeycutt. And Russ, I think the ultimate plan there was to save fuel behind Sanfilippo where he come in. That pit stop was a little bit shorter.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's exactly what happened.
As you look now, you're going to have Brandon Honeycutt. Kinsley Smith is going to be in second position. Matt Mettler in that 311 truck is going to come out in third. Roy Lloyd is going to be in fourth. Sanfilippo is going to come out in fifth. So Brandon's going to lose 2 positions, on that pit road stop. As you saw him in real time get a little sideways on the trying to power out. And then Tim Wright's going to pick up 14 positions and come into sixth. So he must have had just a splash and go on that truck. As you can see, they are going to get themselves lined right back up. And, man, this has been quite an exciting event.
Yeah, that's to say the least. We've seen a little bit of everything so far. We've seen the big one. We've seen a couple of little ones. Seen some pit strategy. It'll be interesting to see how these last 35 laps play out.
Yeah, I can tell you that right now is the time that you say, okay, guys, we've ran it, we've survived, here we are. Now, what are we going to have to do to get ourselves together around each other? As you can see, that 13 and 15 truck, again, they have not left each other's sides. They are still together right now. But these other drivers and the other teams are trying to get themselves together so where they can get around each other and make a push for the end of it. I do believe with 35 to go, you're going to start to see people shuffle around. These trucks find the other teammates, and you're going to start to see that third line come in.
Yep, and it's going to work for about 34 of these last 35 laps because that white flag flies. It's everybody for themselves. It's all co-opetition up until the very last lap, and then Best of luck to you, buddy.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, and I can tell you, you're going to see, this season, you're going to see a lot of that 13 truck. You'll see a lot of that 15 truck. You're going to see a lot of these trucks up near the front. It's Brandon Honeycutt, and we haven't talked really about his racing style, but he is one of those drivers that I have ever seen, one of the better drivers I've ever seen at not ego racing. And what I mean by that is he doesn't have to lead every lap. He just wants to lead the last one. So he'll go back and save his tires, and he will work strategies and pit strategies and fuel strategies to try to find his way in contention at the end. Brandon's one of those drivers that'll sit 10th all night long, and then before you know it, he's leading, winning the race, or at the very least taking a podium position.
Yeah, I've watched Brandon race for quite a little while now, and I've kind of given him the nickname of Horseshoe Honeycutt because he can get caught up in a couple of things, but somehow, if you come to the end of these races, he ends up finding his way back to the front of these races.
Yeah, he does. He does a fantastic job, and no mistake in those paint schemes, as you will see that paint scheme on every single type of truck, Xfinity, Cup car, anything that he has, you're going to see that.
I've always gotten a kind of a kick out of his paint schemes because to me, like it reminds me of like a Simpsons like logo, like they're it kind of looks, it gives off Simpsons vibes.
Yes, it really does. Yeah. All right. So we're going to rack them and stack them again. We got 27 trucks still out on the track. Let's see if we can get ourselves back up here to the starter cam as he's going to take that green flag. He's going to hold it high in the air for Brandon Honeycutt, who has seen that more than once tonight as your leader, is going to have his teammate to the outside. So they're going to be calling each other 1, 2, 3, counting down this restart as we get ready to go back green. We are in the zone.
And he's off.
And he's off.
Boy, I don't know if he didn't quite get a good restart, or if he might have missed a small shift there, but he did not get a good start at all on that one.
Yeah, it does look like that that top line did stack up just a little bit, and this bottom line already forming up.
Honeycutt gets up there in front of Kinsley. You knew that was happening.
Yeah, that is going to leave that that bottom line wide open, as now you're going to have Rowan Lloyd looking to sniff his first laps led tonight. And it looks like he's going to be able to do that as, Honeycutt sliding up in front of Kinsley will work out in the long run, but that does slow that top line up.
Yeah, the one thing I know about Brandon, too, is he is really good with the side draft, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe use that here. Got to hold that bottom line down.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. And as we start to get closer and closer and closer to the end of this thing, with 32 laps to go, you're going to start to see those drivers. Those two big wide lines are going to become almost one line, as these trucks are going to be almost rubbing door handles if they had them going down these straightaways. You can see Brandon starting to use that method already. You can see this firsthand in this drone camera where pulling that 61 truck back that had the better run on the outside helped Brandon get out in front of that. So for those people that are iRacers, and you want to get out here, you want to know when you're leading, why does that bottom line always run to you? It's because you're not slowing that lower line down when they get a run. Oh, and Kinsley with a big push on Brandon's going to get loose.
Still not quite able to clear that bottom line, though.
Crisis averted, as you're going to see somebody solo up there trying. It looks like that's Matt Schlosser trying to take 3 wide. He does not have any teammates coming along with him. Now, I do believe Zach Lockett in that 93 truck is a teammate of Matt, so Matt might have been pulling out to get beside of him or to get front to tail.
Yeah, so I wonder, maybe Matt just got a little tight there or something and split up, and Zach just kind of let him back in line there.
Does look like that truck's getting a little tight on the entry of the turns. That could be kind of a product to that dirty air in front of him, or of not changing tires. As you can see, Andrew Teft right back in this action, as he is still going to be a lap down, but anything goes wrong and they have another caution. Andrew Teft back on your lead lap. We do have other truck drivers that are a lap down, so there's going to be a fight inside of a fight, and that's going to be with Charles Manzel in that 33 truck. So that's going to be the fight for the lucky dog. So you see Curtis Ecker again, just kind of back there. He's already used that fast repair. He's just trying to relax, see what happens. Let's go up back up here and check on our blown engine Truth Hoke. Is again, just it looks like everybody's playing nice here, Russ, and just waiting this thing out with 30 laps to go. I don't think anyone is in a big hurry to do anything.
No, but it's really interesting watching this outside line because it really shows the level of ability with Brandon Honeycutt and Kinsley Smith because the whole race they've been on the bottom and they've been able to thwart off that top line, and now they're up on the top and they're able to thwart off the bottom line. So it really shows their strength and abilities by being able to thwart off both lines no matter where they're at.
No, that's a great point. As it looks like Lee Campbell and Matt Schlosser, along with Zach Lockett and Matt Metler, are going to try to form up this outside line. They're going to get right up against the wall with a great run against Dennis Kane, taking this line 3 wide. And they are going to have a head full of steam coming down this front stretch.
Right as I say what I was saying, the front 2 guys looks like they finally were able to get a little bit of clearance, but here comes that middle line again. Honeycutt and Kinsley Smith coming right back to them again.
Yeah, we'll tell you.
It looked like the bottom 2 there, they were going to clear them 2, but they brought it right back.
Yeah, it looks like maybe those drivers from the tail end of that top line pulling out has created a little bit of that. As you can see now, Sanfilippo staying on, but I want you to keep your eye on that 60 machine as Matt Schlosser pushing Lee Campbell to the front of this thing on the outside, and you are going to have 3, as it looks like Zach Lockett's going to get that right rear into the wall, and that is going to check Matt Metler up. Now, what that's going to do there, Russ, is that's going to stall out Lee Campbell and Schlosser as Zach touches that wall, and now it's going to have to play catch up.
Yeah, they're going to have to maybe fall back a little bit, catch Zach, and see if they can drag them guys back up there, and then try to get another run again.
It seems every driver, all these truck drivers, holding their line very, very well so far. As it looks like Zach has now caught that steam back up, and watch this close. As you can see that he is going to start closing right back up to that 400 truck. Very interesting fact here, Russ. Both of the triple-digit cars are out here on the, or trucks are out here on the high line. Andrew Teff's going to tuck right behind Matt Metler and give a little bit more power to that top line.
Yeah, you got 5 cars strong, and they are coming now. They are coming very strong. They're about to be 3 wide for the lead here.
It looks that way. As all 3 of these lines gaining some momentum, everybody trying to find a spot to run. It is jockeying time. I can tell you, once this thing clicks over and it says it's 25 to go, something changes in these drivers. It's going to be a light switch. As you can see, Matt Schlosser giving a big bump to Lee Campbell on the exit of that turn. It looks like the big loser right now is going to be that low line, as it looks like the 32 machine of Blair Holloman just a little off of the back of the 82 truck.
We got a little bit of separation there, and of that outside line falling just a little bit, but they might get some momentum to come back here again. But really good back and forth battling with these 3 lines.
Yeah, I do believe that Lloyd had the opportunity to really go up and block that middle line and come back down and start to control both of those lines, but that is long gone as Brandon Honeycutt with a great drive in. And look at this, Lee Campbell, Matt Schlosser on the outside with Zach Lockett and Matt Metler really pushing a big shot to that 60 truck. Going to keep great momentum.
This outside line going.
Just not sure if there's enough energy in that line just yet, Russ, to really get up there and contend for a lead.
Yeah, I think they need 1 more. If they got 1 more, little door to door there, maybe.
Yeah, 99 truck getting super close.
To get 1 more truck up there on that outside line, there might be able to give them enough momentum to get up there and get by.
Now, I do believe if Lee get just a little bit closer to that middle line, which he is getting a fantastic run. And you could just see the wind off of that truck with that great run suck Kinsley Smith right up against him as Kinsley is going to start pushing through the turn now, as you can start to see the aggression level go up in these drivers. As now you can start to see Lee Campbell is going to start edging out, and that high line is coming.
Yeah, if any of these guys back here, the 43 or any of them guys get up there to that top lane, give that extra truck of power, that outside line is going to leave the middle line, I think.
And as you say that, Russ, that 69 machine and the 99 truck, they're all going to come up. That's going to leave only 4, except for Andrew Teft is going to shoot the middle, and he is going to come right behind Sanfilippo, and you can see the 82 machine jumped up and right back down in front of 61. So Lloyd getting taken over by the 82 truck of Wright. Again, Kinsley Smith, lots of pushing through the turns now.
Now that outside line is completely falling apart. There's only 3 trucks up there, and they are falling back now.
That was some interesting action, as it does look like Lee Campbell and Zach Lockett are going to start to really struggle as that line falls apart. I do believe your top line is going to fall apart too, unless Andrew Teft and Matt Mettler can start to get back to the back bumper of Sanfilippo. If not, it does look like Blair Holloman just a little off of the back of the 61 truck as well. But again, as we saw earlier, Russ, these drivers, they're probably sitting back waiting for 10 to 15 to go because you don't want to be super close to these trucks and get that temp up.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but there's also a handful that are saying, I want to go and I want to go now. Look at Andrew Teft jumping up there onto that outside. Yeah, he's still a lap down, but hey, if I can get my lap back naturally, bring it on, baby.
Yeah, let's do it the old-fashioned way. If I get my lap back, then Charles can get his lap back through the lucky dog. I'm going to get mine the old-fashioned way. That's leading this thing, and Andrew Teft is trying to do just that, as he does have Matt and the 99 machine helping him out on that top line. But again, I just don't feel like there's enough energy in that line just quite yet to do it, as Brandon and Kinsley really starting to control this race through the middle.
I see a lot of guys in the back. They're dropping to the bottom, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this bottom line pick up a lot of momentum too.
No, that's a fantastic point.
And I count 16 trucks alone in that bottom line, so if they could all get themselves grouped up and get together, that bottom line is going to prevail, and then both of these outside lines are going to just fall to the back.
It does look like to me that everybody's got that first race jitters out of their system. Now they have just fallen into doing what these racers do, and that is race these trucks. Here they are. They have found their rhythm, and I do believe with 21 laps to go, we are setting ourselves up for a fantastic finish, as Brandon Honeycutt still leading lap after lap with that middle line just pushing Kinsley right behind him. Sanfilippo pushing Kinsley. That 3-truck tandem is really a nightmare for both of these lines.
Yeah, I told you, I don't know what it is with Honeycutt, but man, he can make any line work. He's got the right group of people with him, and he's showing that right now. Because it doesn't matter if it was the high side, the bottom side, or the middle. He's not going to give up that easy. He's going for it.
Yeah, 20 more laps to go, folks, when they cross this start-finish line. We had a couple of wrecks early, but it has started to not settle down, but it has started to really ratchet it up. As you can see, that top line now is almost all but disintegrated, and now you are back to 2 really strong lines, as Honeycutt and Kinsley are going to put both of those trucks out in front of the 82. 82 is going to make a little drive back now. But I do believe that all 6 of these trucks, the top line and the low line, 3x3, are pretty content right where they are.
Yeah, I know I would be. Actually, I would be way in the back waiting for those 10 drivers to take clear out. But yeah, it's right now. It's okay. I think I've seen what we got. I think we know what we're capable of. Now let's just let these laps wind down, put ourselves in that spot, and then maybe with 5, 7 laps to go, let's start making our moves.
I agree. I do think that Um,
We've seen a lot of guys try different things, moving up lanes, down lanes. I'm pretty sure at this point, we've been watching it for about 20 laps now. I'm pretty sure at this point, most of these guys know what they're going to do coming into this race.
No, I agree with that. I do think that right now your race within a race, folks, is going to be that 33 machine and the 98 truck of Andrew Teff. Those are the two drivers that are a lap down. So it looks like the 33. Oh, and here's going to be a big wreck. Kinsley Smith loose.
Wow, none of them ended up going over, but we had two of them almost went over.
Oh, my goodness. Let's see if we can go down and find a way to get back.
I think there was a slight check up there in the front, and I think Sanfilippo might have given Kinsley Smith a bad shot there.
Oh my goodness! All right, let's take a look at this. Let's go on board with Sanfilippo, and let's take a look and see. I do believe that you are right that he might have had a little bit of a bad push. And here it comes. Oh, it looks like Kinsley just a little loose before that push.
Yeah, so it looked like Kinsley got checked up there a little bit for some reason. Looks like maybe he got a little bit loose.
Look at this shot here, Russ. Look at that 82 truck coming across on two wheels. Kinsley Smith almost rolling that truck over. Let's back up just a little bit more and let's see if we can go on board with Kinsley. Wow, that is the big one. That is at the front of the field. And let's back this on up because I want to hear this in full time, full speed. It's like Kinsley just let off of the throttle there. He might have gotten a little sideways. Air might have pushed him. We just want to take one more look at this thing. Then we're going to see if we can take inventory. As you can see, that's going to get Kinsley sideways, and that is just going to collect that 82. The 61 is going to hop up, and then here comes Andrew Teff, who has already used his fast repair, and the 33 machine. Neither one of those are going to get the lucky dog. As you can see now, it's just going to be about trying to survive and get through here. Sanfilippo is going to get sideways, 33 sideways, 82 still spinning. He was up on two tires. Kinsley almost flipping over, 69 locking him down, 72 machine spinning. He has used a fast repair. That's the big one, Russ.
Yeah, that was pretty intense there. Going to be interesting now to see how Honeycutt handles this now, not having his teammate behind him or Sanfilippo behind him, who's been working with him all day. Also, he's not going to have any friends up there right now.
Let's just take a look at the amount of drivers on pit road.
Half are on track, half are on pit road.
That is just absolutely incredible. As you can see, folks, on the ticker on the left-hand side, as it scrolls up and down, we have from 17th position on back, 16th now because Campbell is back out, are in the pits and or out of the race. So that was the big wreck that we were waiting on at 17 laps to go. That was quite the melee. Not sure, Kinsley must have gotten that truck just a little bit of sideways. It got kind of in the air wash of Honeycutt's truck, and he had to let completely out. And when he did, there's just nowhere for the drivers to go behind him because that's unexpected. And like we saw before, you have a front windshield full of the rear of another truck. You cannot plan on somebody letting off the throttle, and everything from that point on is just getting collected in a mess.
Yeah, that's absolutely for sure. He's when you're bumping and pushing like that, there's not much you can do when the slightest little checkup happens. I mean, the closing rate is so fast that there's literally nothing you can do.
So as we reset this field, Russ, it's not surprising to see, Honeycutt at the front of this field, your 7-time winning reigning champion, starting second right now, that had been cruising around in the back most of the night. Schlosser, who was your pole sitter, he is right back up front. Dennis Kane in fourth. Curtis Ecker, who had an earlier fast repair that has been saving that truck. As you can see, Honeycutt starting to have a few little blinking issues as all these trucks get piled together. Zach Lockett's here, who is Matt's teammate. We've got Wright still here. That's that 82 truck that got caught up in Kirby Wainscott. So a lot of these drivers that you have not really seen a whole lot at the front, except for Honeycutt, now starting to show up toward the end of this race.
Yeah, it's one incident, and a lot of these guys have just kind of been waiting it out in the back. Now they're up there, and they're in the thick of it now. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see if that 13 there can find anybody that's going to be willing to work with them. If they're saying, "Man, you've been dominating this whole race. We want nothing to do with you. Get to the back."
I will tell you, there is a difference between dominating and getting dumped at the end, and I can tell you that they might use Honeycutt as the speed to get themselves in that position. But I promise you, when we exit turn 4, there are no teammates, there are no friends. There is only win, and you've got to cross that start-finish line. Now, I will tell you that one of the things that these drivers have to remember is this is Dega, it's not Daytona. That start-finish line is way down the front stretch, so there is still a lot of racing left. You do not have to race somebody that hard on the exit of 4. You have that entire front stretch to race.
Yep, tri-oval is not the finish line here.
That's right. As you can see, you can see here from the start-finish line, with that flag in the air, you still have quite the turn. You've got a dog leg. This is 3/4 of the way down the front stretch, so a lot of opportunity to race back to the green. As here we go, we're fixing to go in the Geico zone.
Honeycutt gets a good jump.
Honeycutt with a nice jump.
Looks like he gave up a little bit, trying to get to the front bumper of that truck behind him there, but you don't want to get too far out there and get that bottom line and run around him.
Yeah, that is going to give Blair Holloman the opportunity to.
Oh, we got one down. They're coming back up onto the track. Oh, we got a wreck in the back.
All right, folks, we're going to go under caution again. So it looks like that could have something to do with this 33 truck. Oh, as you see, the 16 and the 99 are going to come together. This 99 down on the apron, and that is just a difficult place to be. And he is going to connect with the 33. That's going to send the 33 hard into the outside retaining wall. Major right front damage. I do believe that's going to end that 33 truck's night. Andrew Teft, again, all of that damage trying to get repaired, and he is going to miss that and barely bump the wall. I do believe that we are going to have to go on board with this 98 truck, as it does look like he's going to make some contact with the right front there. But let's go on board with him and take a look at this accident.
I'll say the 98's gone through it tonight, John. He's gone through
it. he has gotten his battle scars, as you can see. So what happened to Andrew there is just a simple fact of getting down on that apron, and the loading and unloading of the chassis of this truck is what created that for him. And so see, once he got down on the flat, so he went from a high bank down on the flat, you could hear Andrew really try to work those gears and downshift to get the extra turn. And unfortunately, got a little bit more right front damage, but you're right, Russ. He is unfortunately went through it. Let's get ourselves back up front.
I've had plenty of nights like these.
It does happen in super speedways. I will tell you, they might not come for you all the time, but they will come for you sooner or later. Everybody has plate races that are tough like this.
Absolutely.
Appreciate everyone joining in with us tonight. Again, just to give you a recap, we've got 14 laps to go in the first race of Season 6 of your Tuesday night Racers Elite Truck Series. As you can see, we've got some usual suspects here at the front, and that is Blair and Brandon. 1 and 2. Dennis Kane in second. Matt Schlosser in fourth. Lloyd is going to be in fifth. Kurt is going to be in sixth. Shaw in seventh. Zach in eighth. Kirby in ninth. And then we've got Wright in 10th. As we get ready to take ourselves back to green, we've run down the schedule for them for this year. We talked about some of the drivers in the past, some of the drivers that you have seen in this league that you know very, very well. For those of you that are tuning in and have seen this before, we certainly appreciate it. We also want to tell you that Racers Elite Network is nothing that is new, but it is something that Andrew is really trying to push, and we are happy to be a part of it, Russ and I, for your first race here. And if you would just subscribe and like it, that way that Andrew is aware that we've got people watching the broadcast, and we're trying to grow that network, so we certainly appreciate it. 13 laps, Russ. What's the game plan?
At this point, I am still riding it out till about 5 to 7.
Okay.
I wanna protect my truck to make sure that I'm there at the end of this thing. And with closing in on the 10 to go, things are gonna start getting wild and crazy, I think. I don't want to be caught up in it. I want to have that shot at the end. So I'm gonna give it till about 5 to 7 to go before I try to start making any moves, because I don't know what is going to be happening up in front of me right now.
I completely agree. I think if you're in the top 5, you're happy. If you're 11th and back, you're wanting to make some moves because you know that you might get pushed back and have to do it again. So you're trying to find the spot. It is great to see some of these drivers start to maneuver their way to the front of this field that have kind of sat back and saved that fast repair, saved their trucks. I do believe that these two leading, the 32 and the 13, have not used a fast repair either. So there are more fireworks to come, folks, so stick with us, because we are far from done here at Talladega. Anytime you have a start to a new season, you want to be that one that's taking home that checkered flag, and I do think that you're going to see some aggression toward the end of this thing. You're going to see some people try to come from the back to the front, and you're going to see those at the front really fight to stay out there.
First race of the season, John. Emotions are high. You got to get that W.
Oh man, I'll tell you, there's nothing better than starting the season off as your points leader, as a winner. You want to do that. You want to make a statement that you are here, and I will tell you, some of these plate races are kind of like a Sunday cruise, and others are a heavyweight fight. And I believe you've got some drivers, like you stated with Andrew Teff, that believe he's went 12 rounds with Mike Tyson tonight. So there are some drivers out here that have been in a fight, and there are some others that have just been on a Sunday cruise. But I can guarantee you one thing here, Russ, with 10 laps to go to 5 laps to go, everybody's going to be fighting.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a third lane get picked up here early on after this restart. Try to get a third lane built up, have some options out there.
As you can see, those pace lights are out on that truck. We're going to go green with 11 laps to go. This is where the nerves start to creep in. You had some nerves on the start, then everybody settled in. I believe now you're going to see these nerves start to creep back in. Everybody has fuel. Everyone has tires. There is no strategy other than pure speed. And who am I going to align myself with as we look at our flagger and get ourselves ready to go green yet again? As you can see, Blair is going to take them through the Geico restart zone. And here we go. Green flag is going to wave in the air. Blair and Dennis with a really nice jump. It does look like the Matt Schlosser in that 400 is going to dip down and get underneath of Honeycutt. That is going to leave Honeycutt out to dry unless Kurt Ecker can get to his back bumper. But I do believe this lower line is going to have all of your energy.
Yeah, but you can see Honeycutt, he coming down just a little bit, squeezing that bottom line. And look at him getting run now again. Just that side draft. He's really, really strong at it.
They're going to come to the start-finish line with 10 to go. Got some drivers still in it from the back. They got their fast repairs done. This is not over. I do agree completely with you. If you're going to start to get a third line rolling, as you can see, Kinsley Smith is going to start to do that now as he's going to move to the outside, and he's going to pick up Robert Yost.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've been watching Kinsley Smith. He keeps looking out, kept looking out. You know he's anxious to get back up to the front and get back there with Brandon Honeycutt.
He does. They're probably looking and thinking, hey, Matt, in that 311, please jump up here and help us. Let's get this third line going. Some sort of energy's got to come from the back. As you can see, it's that top line is going to pull that middle line back just a little bit on the end of this run. These are almost just, and there you go. Matt Metler coming up top to get some more draft and help around him. And they are going to get a run here. Oh, we're going to get turned. Yellow flag is going to be out. And I am not sure if that really
was just
constituted.
That was just a yellow. Yeah.
Let's go back on this 01. We did not see that on the ticker. I do know that was the 01 that got kicked sideways. Oh, and he is going to get the wall. Oh, Lee Campbell just going to come up. Did he make contact with the apron, Russ, that's going to create that? No, it doesn't look like he did.
I don't think so. I think they just kind of came together. He just kind of came up, and I don't think he ever made contact with the apron, but maybe he just got tight. Maybe there was a little arrow stuck or something that just kind of pulled him up off the bottom there. And
yeah, he takes that 01 machine. Oh, big hard hit direct. You can see the white smoke coming out of that truck as it made contact. A little bit of tire smoke, a little bit of engine smoke. So hopefully he can get that thing back up and running. All right.
Tell you what, I'm noticing a little chain of events with these wrecks, and these trucks getting airborne.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Like every one of these wrecks, man, they're not able to keep all fours on the ground.
I will tell you, I've been waiting for one to rotate all the way over. Kinsley's been close. Who else was really close to it? Zach was close to it. Several trucks right there. The 01 really close to rotating over. Waiting for one of those to finally make it all the way over and onto their lid. We might see that through the start-finish line.
I was going to say we've got 8 laps for that to happen. So.
Yeah, this is going to set up an even shorter run. To the finish line now, as you look like Andrew Teft is going to get a lap back. I believe that's going to put him back on the lead lap. Just like you said, Russ, you never stop fighting in these. You just never know what's going to happen at a plate track.
That's for sure. Looking at it, he might still be 1 lap down.
Let's see when he comes around what the timing tower is going to tell us.
Yeah, let's see what he looks like once he catches the field back up. But right now, it's still showing him 1 lap down.
All right, folks, while we wait on that, we do want to give you yet another rundown. As Blair Holloman is going to be your leader, Brandon Honeycutt second, Dennis Kane now in third, Curtis Eckers going to be in fourth, Matt Schlosser in fifth, Tim Wright sixth, Rowan Lloyd in seventh, Hugh Escobar in eighth, Zach Lockett in ninth, and Alex Teft is going to round out your top 10 as we are probably going to go back green with about 7 laps to go. I will tell you, it has not been without its excitement. And I think we have probably one more nice, exciting run in us.
I think so.
I think so. You know, I do believe, and it might be spinning across. We might finally see someone on their top through the start finish line.
I think we're closing in on go time, and we might see a little bit of fireworks coming along here.
I think you are right. And as we look down the schedule, Russ, I've got to tell you, this really suits these trucks very well. I mean, you know, you're looking at Auto Club, nice, flat, slick track. You're going to be able to see these trucks move around a little bit. You know, you've got Chicagoland coming up, Charlotte coming up, Darlington. Trucks are fantastic at Darlington. So you've got quite a bit of excitement coming too. So make sure that you all stay tuned. We will be back every single Tuesday night at this same time to bring you all of the action from these drivers that you follow so well. And then do not forget about all of the other events that Racers Elite throws on. And that isn't just your Xfinity. It's not just the Cup races. It's all of those other specialty events. We have a Daytona 500 race coming up. We had a couple of weeks ago a 2.4 hour of Daytona at the Daytona Road Course. So we've got all kinds of events for you all to check out. If you want to do that, make sure you go to racerselite.com and you can look at everything that they've got going on, all the events, the things coming up. And we certainly appreciate you giving us a like, subscribe on that Racers Elite YouTube and Twitch page. We would certainly appreciate that.
Like we're getting ready to go back green here, John. We're doubling them up. Going with about 6 laps left. Question is how many can they make it?
I can tell you they are geared up. Now, we are not worried about engines. We are not worried about damage. All we are worried about is getting ourselves to that checkered flag.
Checkers or records, baby.
Checkers or wreckers.
I lift until I see the checkered flag or I see God.
This is Talladega, as you can see on the outside retaining wall. We're going to have Blair Holloman again take us into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is in the air, and here we go. Six laps, Blair with a big jump, and that's going to allow the tighter 13 and 19 truck on the outside to get a pretty solid run here, getting ready to go down the backstretch. Dennis Kane right on the back bumper of Blair. And here is where the pushing is going to begin. Kinsley Smith out.
Line is starting to form up.
Let's see what happens to that. We're going to keep an eye on that as we go around. You see Kurt really starting to get pushy in the middle of those turns. Lots of pushing going on. That's going to give Matt Mettler a fantastic run on the outside as you have a 3-truck combo. That's going to get Alex Teff's going to get sucked back just a little bit to him. The 82 truck going to start sneaking outside. That is going to leave. Oh, Honeycutt is going to be left out to dry unless there's Kinsley Smith. Oh, he's going to get put in the wall.
Direction. Oh, big wreck again.
Matt Mettler. Wow. Let's back that up as it looked like the 15 truck of Kinsley Smith coming down to get in that 3 to pull over to get behind Honeycutt. And let's see if we can't go on board with Kinsley. Let's see if we can get just a little bit closer in and take a look at this wreck. Let's go on board with him. All right, so here we are with Kinsley Smith. And you see he's going to pull out and just did not make it in time. I believe he clipped Matt. Let's see if we can go to Mettler and take a look at it this way. As you see, Kinsley sees that, and he's going to pull out. Yeah, and he's going to clip Matt, and that is going to bring Matt here right into the wall. Then he's going to come down and collect the 10. That's going to get Alex Teft involved. 72 truck is here. Alex Teft going down. That's going to pick up Rob Yost. 99 machine's going to get into it again. Down at the bottom, the 01 is in it. 69 going to get a hard lick right in the center of that turn. Matt looks like he's still out on track, but man, that was a wild one there. We will have two green-white checkers if we need to be able to crown our winner tonight. I do believe this will be attempt 1 as we go back green.
It might very well be attempt number 1. Looking at the lap, currently coming to lap 73.
As you can see, it looks like from 18th to 26 are in the pits right now, getting some damage repaired. Wow, this is setting ourselves up for an exciting finish. The restart is going to be paramount. You're going to have Blair on the inside. You're going to see Dennis Kane is going to start second on the outside. He's going to have Blair's going to have Matt right below him or right behind him in third. And then you're going to have Brandon Honeycutt on the outside in fourth. I believe it's been shown outside of Kinsley that Brandon does not have a whole lot of partners out here in this top 10. That's willing to stick with him. So look for him and Kinsley to try to get themselves together.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can find each other quick and have time to still get back to the front by the end of this thing. But I also don't feel like we're done with the cautions either.
We do have 2 attempts at this thing, so if this one doesn't do it, we could do one more. I do think that Blair has to start thinking about his restarts, maybe even starting in second gear or dragging the brake a little bit. Once he starts, he is going to want Matt really on that rear bumper and pushing him. So, for those drivers that get out to a bigger lead than what they should and they get detached from the driver behind them, they are going to be a sitting duck. So I do think you're going to see Blair really try to slow down that restart. Try to get himself in a position where Matt is going to be able to push him and get him by that Ford truck.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get, especially in these late stages like this. You don't want to get way too far out in front, because then you're just a sitting duck and you're going to get freight trained. This will be green-white checker attempt number 1.
Blair riding around in the back for the majority of the night, picking his spot with about 30 to go to start working his way back up to the front. Kept that nose clean on that truck. Avoided all of the accidents. And sometimes in these races, it's just a little bit about some luck as well. And he had a little bit on that on his side tonight as he worked his way through some of those accidents. Dennis Kane, same thing. And he was really mired in the middle of the pack throughout most of the night. So he's been able to avoid those wrecks. Brandon Honeycutt took the theory of staying up front to stay out of those wrecks and has avoided those things. So you've got some drivers that chose to be up front, some that chose to be in the back, and here they are at the end of this race trying to jostle around to find out who is going to take win number 1 of season 6.
Yeah, and you said it too, with Holloman hanging out in the back the whole race. Just hanging out in the back doesn't always work out. You have those incidents and you got to make them through them. And he's been able to do that all night, been able to avoid all those incidents and work his way back up to the front. We're going to see what he can do now that he's up here.
Yeah, the wheels are turning as they get ready to align themselves with the people behind them. I'm not sure about what I see from a teammate standpoint. I do know that that Zach Lockett truck and Matt Schlosser are teammates. As you can see, that truck start to pull down. So, Russ, here we go. We got to get this thing tightened up. We got to grip that wheel just a little bit more because we have one green, white checkered here out of 2 attempts, and we are looking at who we are going to crown as the first winner of Season 6 in this truck series here at Talladega, as Blair Holloman is going to put them in the Geico restart zone. Green flag, green flag, green flag is in the air. Blair with a lot bigger jump than even I thought he was going to get, but man, he was able to charge out in front. Dennis Kane stayed tied right to Honeycutt.
Tell you what, John, for this lap, every one of these guys is my teammates. For that last lap, I don't have any teammates.
Boy, that big jump by Blair has allowed Matt Schlosser to make that move to get to the outside of that 32 machine. That bottom line is falling away as these 3 trucks, that's Dennis Kane, Matt Schlosser, and Brandon Honeycutt, as they're going to try to go to the bottom. Oh, and Kinsley Smith loose.
Around. Caution is out. Again, we're going to take that second chance. We are going to use the second attempt at a green-white checker.
Let's see if we can find out what happened to Kinsley, as it looked like he got turned again. All right, let's take a look here. So it looks like Zach Lockett's going to come up and get the left rear quarter panel, that 15 truck. Just tight, door-to-door racing. That's going to get him a little bit sideways. Robert Yost trying to dodge. Look at that dodge by Robert is going to leave. Oh, and then Kinsley's going to get some pretty major damage on that left rear quarter panel by the 25 truck. 54 is going to hit the apron and spin. And we are going to have one more shot at this thing with Matt Schlosser as your leader. Second place is going to be Dennis Kane, as we had some crazy moves up at the front. Looked like Blair Holloman with a big jump that allowed Matt to really get that run and be able to clear Dennis on that high side, which gave him the push to get around there, and then all melee broke loose behind him.
Yeah, he got out to quite a big jump there on that restart. Yeah, like you said, I think it it gave the bottom line a little bit of a slowdown, and allowed that outside to really pull out front there on that last restart.
Yes, we're going to go through this. Blair Holloman is now going to be in 5th. Curtis Ecker is in 6th. Tim Wright 7th. Zach Lockett in 8th now. Robert Yost in 9th. Alex Teft back up to 10th. He was involved in that accident just a few cautions ago. Kinsley Smith still out on track. Again, some battle scars on that truck as he tried to fight his way back up to Honeycutt most of the back third of this race. 25 machine still out on the track in 12th. That's going to be Paul Shaw. You've got Philip Archibald in 13th. Truth Hoke really never recovered from that initial blown engine. As you can see, that left rear quarter with some pretty sizable damage on that 55 truck. Sean Dunaway is in 15th. Jesse Fox, that 69 machine, one of our front runners early on, mired back here in traffic, as is Brandon Sanfilippo, again up front most of the first third of this race. The 10 machine of Kirby Wainscott back in 18th, Rick Webb in 19th, and those are going to be the trucks that are on the track as we see Lee Campbell coming up to meet the pack now.
All right, John, so we're in a situation here where the next flag is going to end it, whether it's going to be a checkers or a caution. You're the leader. You're if you're Mr. Schlosser up here and you are leading this race, are you hoping for a caution as fast as possible?
Oh, absolutely.
Or are you hoping it plays out?
Yeah, like you've done your racing. Matt made a fantastic move that last green white checker attempt. Made a fantastic move. I think to him and in his mind, that was my good move to get myself in this first position. If somebody spun the tires and wrecked the field and threw out a caution, I would be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I would. I'd have to agree with that. if I'm leading this race, I don't want to see that white flag. I don't want to see that checkered flag. I just want to see the yellow as fast as possible.
Yeah. There are some more moves to come. I can tell you that that some of these drivers, one of these things that's great about the truck is really the ability to generate so much power and so much energy to suck up to another truck. And you can get there so quick that they have all the room in the world to make these moves. And you're going to see that come through here as just in that short half a lap that we had, a ton of moves up front, and it shuffled everybody. I believe your leader on that last restart was Blair Holloman. He's back in fifth. So if that tells you all of the moves that you can make in such a short time with these trucks, again, Schlosser really needing to have a slow start to allow Honeycutt to get onto that back bumper and push him and just glue that thing to that yellow line until this last corner, and then you start fighting for your life.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't want to get too far out there. I want Honeycutt right on my back bumper because, like exactly what happened that last restart. It can get too far out there, and Honeycutt can jump to that middle or something like that, and I could go back 5 spots in just one corner. I want him locked to my bumper when I come across this line.
It looks like he is starting to warm up the bumper already, as he is not even going to let Matt get away from him under this caution, as they're going to start to gear up. That 61 of Lloyd, we haven't seen him up front in a little bit, about 20 laps or so, but he was in the middle of this race running second, third, and even leading some of this. So look for him to give that Dennis Kane, that Ford truck, a really good push as we get ready to go green. This will be our last attempt at a green-white checker, and then we will be throwing that checkered flag and determining who is going to be the winner of the first race of this new season with the truck series with Racers Elite on Tuesdays. Truck's going to peel off.
Matt Schlosser and Dennis Kane bringing up this front row. Bring him to the line one more time.
This will be it. As Russ stated before, it is going to be either to a checkered flag or to a yellow. The next flag will call this race. As here we go, and they take off now. And it looks like Matt's going to get a big jump. He might come up here to this top line.
I think that's the best move he could have made. Get up there and slow that momentum down as much as you can. I know I got out to too big of a lead. I need to slow that outside down as much as I can. Now they're playing bumper cars here.
Big hit right in the center of the turn. Matt holds on to it, but Brandon put the bumper to him right in the middle. As we're going to see that third line, that 19 truck of Curtis Ecker, and then Matt's going to go from the top to the bottom.
Way up. Oh, he checked that way up. I thought he was going to get turned by going up there. Kinsley Smith checking up that outside too.
As they are moving around in the back, we are 3 wide, 4 wide now.
Honeycutt right back to the lead again on the bottom.
Matt making the bad move to move up to the top and block that high line has let this bottom line come down, and we are going to get ourselves ready for the white flag. Here we go. As soon as we cross the start finish line, we will be racing back to the checkered flag.
They are wrecking in the back. Wrecking hard in the back.
Kinsley Smith, it looks like, has now went off. Brendan Sanfilippo has went off. We're going to stay right here as we're going to see this race back. As it looks like Matt Schlosser is going to get a great push from Dennis Kane, and he's going to come almost even with Honeycutt. Truth Hope back in the picture now at the bottom.
I don't know if that outside lane's got enough momentum to make this work. I think Honeycutt might be in the catbird seat here.
You're going to have some momentum and some energy coming off at the top line, but it doesn't look like he can do a whole lot. 61 truck can't do a whole lot either, but try to push for a second place finish. Matt's going to try
that outside line coming to the tri-oval. Coming to the line.
Honeycutt's going to be your winner. It looks like by .00. We'll have to get the official score.
Looks like 8. Oh, there's one barrel rolling through turn 1. Ow.
Wow, what a tremendous finish, as that might be one of the closer finishes that we have seen.
I'm seeing .008.
Wow, as we try to get these drivers into our waiting room. Let's go back here and take a look. That looks like the 99 machine. This is going to be on the last lap, as it looks like Kinsley Smith, who might have been have our new record of dogfight here. We're going to go up just a few positions and see if we can't find out what happened. Looks like the 01 machine is going to try to squeeze up, and there is no room for him there. Curtis Ecker is going to get into him. Kinsley's going to try to come down, nowhere to go. Get turned sideways. Sanfilippo hard into the outside wall. And it's just a huge stack up from there. 99 truck in it again. Wow. All right, let's get ourselves back up here and live. As you can see, Brandon Honeycutt is going to take the old Alan Kawicki thought and see if he can get this go around backwards and celebrate this win.
We need to check on Mr. Truth Hoke there and make sure he's all right, because he went for a wild ride after the checkered flag down in turn 1.
Truth Hoke with a big wreck. Wow, let's see. Wow, what a tremendous race, everybody. What a tremendous race back to the flag. We took the white, had a big wreck in the back, but, Brandon Honeycutt kept that truck up there all night long in the first position, does some fantastic things, and he is going to take your race win here at Talladega for the first race of our new season. And we're going to see if we can start getting these drivers up into the waiting room right now.
Looks like we got second and third. I know Brandon a lot of times does not do interviews, post-race interviews. So.
Well, let's see if we can bring Mr. Matt Schlosser up and get our interview there.
Gonna pull him, or you want me to?
Yes, I am. I am trying to work on pulling him up to the booth now. All right, Matt, this is John and Russ in the booth. Do you have a copy for us?
Hey, John, I got you.
Man, what a crazy wild ride there for about that last 10 or 15 laps. But looked like, first of all, started on the pole, great qualifying lap. Looked like you got shuffled back a little bit there, and it looked like you kind of rode around for most of the race, and then with about 30 to go, you started to inch your way back up. And walk me through your race, man, and let me know how this thing went.
Yeah, sure. It was, the fuel run was like 20 to 22 laps, so I was trying to kind of not use any more fuel than I had to, because I didn't want to burn up too much and have to pit by myself or something. I wanted to make sure I had enough to pit under green with a pack, which we never had a green flag stop. But once it got towards the end of the race and there was no concern about fuel, it just kind of became a shootout, and was able to hang around the front for most of it. Towards the end, cautions came out towards the end, and I was just kind of able to hang around like third, fourth, fifth. Managed to grab the lead on that second to last restart, and then almost got back to the lead to get the 13 there at the end. Just didn't quite have enough to take the lead back at the line, but I got a good push from Dennis in the Ford truck. It just came up a tiny bit short, but it was a fun race. Always lucky to get a podium at a super speedway, that's for sure.
Well, I want to ask you, and I think Russ might have your official timing on how close it was, because in our timing ticker, it showed a 0.00 difference between you and Honeycutt. But one of the questions that I do have for you is on that first green-white checker, you were in the lead and you got a pretty good solid jump, and it looked like you were trying to really manage all three of those lines. You kind of jumped to the outside and then back down, and then you saw, Curtis have a really good run up on the high side. And I will tell you, so when you decided to go up there and you kind of took that hit, it was really tight right there, and they come back down. When it looked like you dropped back down to that middle line and you saw Brandon really start to pull away on that bottom line, did you think, man, I should have dropped right back down before that?
Yeah, initially I was like, oh, I just lost it. Like, there they go. But luckily, there's always people flying up from, on these green white checkers. There's always somebody coming with a ton of speed, and if you can get up into their lane, there's good chance you might get a nice push. And I was able to get another push. And um, yeah, I tried to go early. It's kind of a weird strategy, but I like to go early on restarts sometimes in super speedways because it just kind of strings people out and kind of creates like more room to maneuver. I feel like you can get pinned on the bottom if you start too slow, and then all of a sudden they're three wide, and you're just kind of on the bottom with no control. But that's just me. I obviously didn't win the race, so I probably maybe I didn't do the right thing. But it was fun trying to figure it out and had a good time.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And just so you know, we popped it up here on the screen. The margin of victory for Honeycutt was 0.008. So fantastic drive, Matt. Really appreciate you coming out and spending your Tuesday afternoons with us. We certainly appreciate that. And great job putting this truck on the podium for the first race of this new season. So we'll turn it over to you, sir, and let you give your shout outs.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Shout out to Racers Elite, Andrew for running the league and having me on board. Shout out to you guys for the broadcast, and really shout out to a bunch of people in the race. I thought it was a pretty clean race, at least around me. I know there are a few cautions, but pretty good racing. So shout out to all the guys I was racing around, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, we appreciate you coming out, and we hope to see you next week at Auto Club.
All right, take care. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Have a good night.
All right, Russ. So I'm going to pop up Mr. Lloyd here, and then we'll let you handle that interview and see if we can't get a hold of our race winner. All right, Rowan, you got a copy?
I got you guys. What's going on?
All right, this is John and Russ in the booth, and Russ has a few questions for you.
All right, let's hear them.
Hey man, the end of this race was kind of crazy. What was your well, first, we saw you up front there a little bit this afternoon, and then you kind of fell back a little bit and came back. What was running through your mind in those last, I don't know, 10 or 15 laps that just kind of turned into Calamity Corner?
Yeah, honestly, the main thing was just try not to get involved in the wreck. Survive was kind of my motive. And when I saw people wrecking around me, I just, closed my eyes and, uh, you know, didn't let up. So, yeah, just survive, really. Luckily, it all worked out at the end. But yeah, it was a little scary.
Yeah, we saw you working with a couple of different people there throughout the race. Was there anybody in particular that you had as a teammate that you were trying to work with throughout this race, or?
No, unfortunately not. Philip he was around me. Then I know he got involved in a few wrecks, and I was looking for him, but it just didn't work out. But yeah, big shout out to the guys that I was working with. They definitely helped me get here tonight. I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, man, it's never a bad thing to start a season off with a podium finish and get you a good jump start on the points for the season. Anybody before we let you go? Anybody you want to give any shout outs to or thanks to?
Yeah, my family and friends. I gotta thank my boy Connor. He let me put a silly little picture of him on the hood, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, you know what? Thank you guys for putting this on. Seems like a pretty cool gig.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Rowan, and congratulations on putting that truck on the podium in the first race of this season. So we certainly appreciate it and look forward to seeing you next week at Auto Club.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I'll see you there.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
All right. So we cannot get an interview with Brandon Honeycutt, but Russ, what an amazing finish. What a great start. Of course, we've got a couple of cautions, but you have to expect that at a big plate track like this. And I got to tell you, great group of drivers. Really looking forward to seeing what these drivers can do when they can spread out just a little bit. And we start to see those drivers really start to stretch their legs, get into some of the tracks that they love, and start to see all the different tracks that we're going to have this year in the Truck Series. I got to tell you, I think this is going to be one of those epic seasons for Racers Elite.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting to follow and watch. Like you said, next week they go to Auto Club. It's a 2 mile track. It's kind of a drafting track, but out there you could really separate yourselves and again, you've got 3-4 lanes worth of track to work with. Is finding that right line and finding, staying in some kind of a draft and giving yourself a shot there. and then you move on to the mile and a halfs and the road courses, and it's really going to bring out the different types of drivers that we have in Racers Elite. You're going to see like the road course ringer, if you will. When we go to Lime Rock Park, is there one particular driver who's better at road courses than they are at ovals? At NASCAR, you have that. Your short track specialist, your mile and a half. I know Zach Lockett. Zach Lockett's really really good at mile and a half tracks. Is he gonna potentially pick up a win when we go to those tracks? So it's going to be really interesting over the next couple of weeks to see as we progress through this season what drivers are going to show up and show out.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. And as we close the night, we certainly want to thank Racers Elite again. As we said a couple of times in the broadcast, please give us a share and a like here on Racers Elite Network as we continue to put on some broadcast for everyone out there to see. And again, we are racing every single night. So if you want something and you're looking to get in the truck, car, or anything else, row car, modifieds, it's here. It's at Racers Elite. Go to racerselite.com and you can get all your information there. Andrew Teft, Alex Teft, done a fantastic job. Look forward to seeing everybody this season throughout this truck series. And we will catch everyone next Tuesday at Auto Club. Good night, Russ.